Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. All right, family. We're going to have our discussion today. We'll talk about some very positive things. I was trying to fix my furnace piece, but I'm going to have to fix it later. It's not working right now. I'll get it a little bit later. Try to correct it. All right. May the Most High be praised. May He be pleased with our efforts. May the Most High have mercy upon us. May He guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people. Okay, family, you know that you all have the opportunity to ask questions on this day. You all can ask questions, and Creator willing, we'll be able to answer those questions. I thank you all for joining in today. My name is Prince Kazaridar Benai Yisrael of Temple Kifarim in Philadelphia. Most people just call me Prince. All right, we're going to rock like this here. This is how we're going to do this. Shabbat Shalom, family. Who we have in the room? Prince Rav. Shalom. Shalom, Prince. Antoinette. Shalom, Antoinette. Shalom, Ishi. All right, we're going to rock. I think I seen Majay up in there a little earlier. Majay. So, family, this is how we're going to do this as normal. If you have any questions that you want to ask, just type your questions in the room, and Creator willing, we'll be able to address your questions. There's a lot of concerns going on in Israel today. And I need the sisters to understand that a lot of the things that we do is going to be predicated on how you all get along and how you understand things and how you move forward in righteousness and truth with one another. Okay? But oftentimes what happens is if the sisters are out of order, you know, it throws off so many things when the sisters are out of order that we don't even really fully understand the depth of how important it is that the sisterhood is on point. Because if the sister's out of order, she's going to in turn cause her man to be out of order, the children to be out of order, and everything else to be out of order. But if the sisters are all working and putting forth that combined effort to please the Creator, to unify the house of Yisrael, and to stand behind her man and support him in the things that he's doing, everything else falls in place. It's all about that, family. This is what we have to focus on. These lessons that we give is geared toward building the individual toward righteousness on an individual level, so that collectively, when all these little righteous individuals come together, we'll build a great, powerful nation. That kingdom that Prince Rav was speaking about, that we have the possibility of forming right here on earth in the land that we call Goshen, in Sparta, Georgia. Opportunity is there. Shalom, shalom. Trice Williams. Shalom, Corlin. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. We got a couple people supposed to be coming today. I don't know if they're going to come, but it doesn't matter because we're not going to allow them to stop us from what we have to do. Would be nice to have a reader, but I got to do it myself. We're going to start our readings today in the book of Genesis, the 29th chapter. Genesis, the 29th chapter. All right? Genesis 29:1. Wait a minute, we got a question in the room. Let me see what that question is. Sister got a question. She says, we are to install in our children as the Most High gave them to us. Cain prepared them for him. You're absolutely right, sis. You're absolutely right. Wonderful point. All right, let's move forward. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, sis, because I seen your page and you be lighting it up. May the Most High be pleased with your efforts as well, Antoinette. Genesis 29th chapter, first verse. Remember what we're trying to approach, sisters. We're trying to build individuals into righteous individuals so that collectively we can come together and form a righteous nation, a holy nation, a set-apart nation to give glory and honor to the Most High King. All right? It says, then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. You know, back in the ancient days, I got to make fun of this, but they didn't have piping running under the ground. They had wells where we would actually go out and take what we formed as shovels and dig 3-foot holes straight down. And sometimes they went down like 60 feet. And the thing is, with a well, you got to line a well. So this well that we're reading about took a lot of work to do. But our ancestors were so accustomed to doing it that it was like second nature to them. This was a natural thing for them to do. They had certain men that they would hire to go out and do it, or they would do it themselves. But a well was something that was vitally important for our survival because we got water from the well. It's not like today you go in the kitchen, you hit the faucet, water comes out. It's not like that. It wasn't like that in the ancient days. You had to have a well dug, or you had to have a river or a stream, something by your land to get water from. Some of us used to go down to the lake or to the stream and get water and walk back, but that's a heavy task. Sometimes you could have a well that usually is a community well where everybody from that little area or that little region would go to the well and everybody would scoop out their water, and then they would carry the well on donkeys or horseback or however they did it. I don't think they had horses in our land at that time in those days. They may have. I don't think. The word for horse in Hebrew is sus, so look it up sometime. But I don't think so. I think they had donkeys, mules more so. So they used to take and go get the mules and then load them up with the water and carry them back. It was a lot of work. I put emphasis on that because I want you to see how important this chapter is speaking about the vitality of life coming forward from this well. Look at the wonderful things and the mysterious things of love that have taken place from the well. Here we are. Verse 3, Genesis 29:3. And thither were all the flocks gathered. See, all the flocks and everyone came to the well. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. The purpose of the stone was that the children and other things didn't fall into the well, because you wasn't getting out if you fell in. That was it. And Jacob said unto them, my brother, now this is Yaakov speaking, your father, Israel. And Jacob said unto them, my brother, whence be ye? And they said, of Haran are we. And they said unto him, know ye Laban? And he said unto them, know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? Now remember, Nahor was Abraham's father, Abraham's brother, Nahor. Now he's Abraham's grandson. You understand? So it's all a lineage thing that they're trying to do. Keep it within the family. Shabbat Shalom. Kev, short, Shabbat Shalom. Levi Israel, Shabbat Shalom. They're trying to keep it within the family. Not too close, but far enough to keep it in family. And he said unto them, know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, we know him. And he said unto them, is he well? And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And they said, lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the children should be gathering together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, we cannot until the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth then we water the sheep. Now, this next portion I want you all to pay close attention to, because if you're reading the King James Version, you will not know this. All right? It says, and while he yet spake with Rachel, while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. In English, it says that she kept the sheep of her father. But in Hebrew, it says that she was a shepherdess. She was a shepherdess. Something that I never paid attention to until I was reading this earlier today. You know, a lot of people teach that women just sit in the house and cook your food and make your meals, clean the house, and raise the children. But this sister, she had not that responsibility because she wasn't a wife. What she was a man's daughter. And as a man's daughter, her responsibility in the ancient days was slightly different. Her responsibility was pretty much like King David's responsibility, because he was a keeper of the flocks also. He was a shepherd boy. She was a shepherd girl. See, they got a little bit of similarities in there. And she happened to be the one that he chose to, and when I say he, I'm talking about our father, Yisrael, Jacob. That's the one that he chose over his sister, over all the women that he had met. He fell in love with her from first sight. He fell in love with her so severe that his very first kiss that he just walk up and take, he cried. And I could just imagine that passion that was flowing through him at the time, that he cried when he got that kiss. Strong reading that we are about to read. She, Rachel, was a shepherdess. You have to remember that. She worked for her livings. It reminds me of the story in Proverbs, Proverbs 31, where it speaks about the sister who looked after her household and she did her work. She put her hands to work to make things happen for the family. Wonderful Proverbs. Now, I'm not saying that it's a woman's responsibility to provide for the family. It's not what I'm saying. It's the man's responsibility that when you take a wife, you're able to provide for her. And if you're not able to provide for her, you shouldn't take a wife until you are able to provide for that woman and your future family, or the family that you have grafted it yourself into. Okay? But at this time, she's not married. So she's doing what we would call housely chores. That one chore that she did was she kept after the sheep. So she brought the sheep down to the well. Okay? And it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flocks of Laban, his mother's brother, and Jacob kissed Rachel. Wow. Complete stranger. It don't even say that Jacob laid down no rap. It don't even say that he said, hey, how you doing? My name is Jacob. I'm your cousin, you know, and I'm thinking about taking you for a wife. Jake didn't do none of that stuff. Jake went up to her. He showed her his value when he rolled away the stone. He says, look, I'm going to provide for you the task that's too hard for you to do. I'm going to do it for you. As a man, that's how you have to present yourself before a woman. It ain't about you jumping in the sack and showing how good you can get down in the sack. That comes way after you've proven your value and your worth in real life. You have to show her that you're capable of providing for her, capable of taking care of her, capable of doing the job that a man is required to do when he takes a wife. Okay? Anybody can get down there and make that thing hit a heartbeat, skip a note in that manner. But it takes a real man to satisfy the real needs and desires of a real woman. You understand what I'm saying? So Jake had to show off a little bit. Yeshaya, I know you ain't watching, Yeshaya. You supposed to be here with me. Yeshaya, you ain't no good out. You're not right. You gave your word. But Jake had to show off a little bit and show that I have the ability to do this. And what he did was from the door, he saw her, he just grabbed her and kissed her. And that kiss was so powerful, what did he do? What did he do after he kissed her? He cried, he wept. You know, men ain't supposed to cry. Men supposed to be strong. Men supposed to be on point. We ain't supposed to be showing no emotions like that. But he did. Because that kiss was real powerful. Shabbat Shalom, Moray. Shabbat Shalom. That kiss was powerful that he gave. Men are supposed that we're taught in this society, I happen to agree with it to a degree, that men are supposed to be strong and we don't supposed to show any emotions and we supposed to be like rough and rugged and we ain't supposed to cry. But Jake got overpowered. That kiss was so strong and so powerful, he felt it in his soul and it made him cry. It says he raised his voice, call his voice. He raised his voice and he cried. He couldn't help himself because the love that he had for that woman from the door was overpowering his mind and him trying to hold back his emotions. That's how you know when it's real. Okay? It says, verse 11, we're reading from Genesis 29, verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice, and he wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother. He didn't even introduce himself until after he got his kiss. Ain't that something? Now, how many of you today will let a man just walk up to you? I wouldn't even tell you to let a man walk up to you and just kiss you from the door. But when that emotion is just that powerful, you ain't really going to be able to prevent what's going to happen. But yet you keep your womanly, you know, your spirit about you. Be like, ho, wait a minute. I don't do that. You got to go talk to my father. You got to go talk to my Abba. Okay? Or my big brother. You don't just walk up on me and kiss me. What's wrong with you? She felt it too, though. I ain't going to lie. She felt it too. That's why you don't see nothing in here saying that she punched him, or she kicked him, or she bit him, or scratched him, because she felt them too. She felt that passion intermingling between the two of them. And Jacob kissed Rachel. I got to keep reading that part because that's the high point of the chapter. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. She didn't walk. She didn't stroll. She was so excited behind that kiss that she ran. Pew! She knew that now was the opportunity for her to be a wife. And in the ancient days, that's what women lived for. They didn't live to get a job to take care of themselves and provide for themselves, have a baby from different baby daddies, 4 and 5 different babies from different men, and then kick the man out the house and be responsible for the responsibilities of the household. That's not what they did in the ancient days. And any righteous woman in today's world wouldn't want to do that either. What they did in the ancient days was that they prepared themselves to be a wife. From their youth, they were raised up to become a man's wife. Here was her opportunity. You at the door. Now, if I go to my door and knock on the door, Yeshua, you going to be out there? Don't tell me you at the door and you ain't out there. You lying on the Shabbat day, y'all. It was their responsibility to be raised to be a wife for a man. And that's what they did. They would raise their daughters to be a wife. You know, women had to have certain skills to show their value. Okay, he at the door, y'all. Hold on a second. Let's go get this character. Hold on a second, please. This guy. Whoa. This guy. Swing my door. Look at my swing my door, man. What's going on?
Are you all?
Yeah, we are.
Fix the flag, brother.
No, it's intentional.
Oh, it's intentional? Oh, okay.
Everybody's on your phone. Flag is like that for a reason, because we're not a free nation. We're a nation in captivity.
Oh, so you look.
We haven't earned the right yet to hang our flag.
All the way.
That's right.
I got you.
We can't. Moray Yoel put me down with that one.
So, when we all the way free.
When we all the way free, we get to exert our flag in fullness. But right now, we're just fooling ourselves thinking we free. And we ain't free. We still slaves.
Turn this up.
Yeah, he's a man of his word. I got to give it to him. He's a man of his word. He kept his word. May the Most High be praised and pleased with this young man's actions on this day.
Oh, I
He
ain't
kept his word.
What's going on?
All right, right there, man.
Right there.
Yeah, hand me that piece there, please.
Okay.
Thank you. I gotta fix it. I couldn't fix it, so I couldn't put it on today. All right, family, let's get back into the word. We got you shy. You might want to slide over so they can hear. Well, they can probably hear your voice. You talk loud enough. You got a big voice. You want to rest your coat, man? You want something to drink, something to eat? Kitchen right there. Take your hat off. Get comfortable. Is that my hat, man? It look like my hat.
No, this is me right here.
That's my hat. That's my hat. You stole my hat. He stole my hat, y'all.
My daughter dressed me.
Yeah, your daughter, she probably did, but she took my hat out that closet. You probably buried it in the closet. All right, so we're going to move on, family. We're going to start at verse 11, because I think it's very important. Genesis 29, verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him. Now, what did Laban just do with Jake? He greeted him with a kiss. You see what I mean? This is how honorable men got down. This is how honorable men got down. We kept our word. Yes, that's true. But when an honorable man came in the presence and wanted to show honor and respect to another man, he kissed him. It wasn't no kiss in the mouth. It was a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the neck. And if you know anything about honor, that's how men did. Real men. Not no men that it was questionable whether they were flaky or not. Now, one of them dudes kiss you, you better be watching it, because he probably a little funny. But we talking about men who you know are bona fide honorable men. This is how we greet each other. We read this earlier where we read about in the 18th chapter of Exodus, where Moshe met his father-in-law, he kissed his father-in-law in the same manner. Here we have Jake being met by his uncle, Laban. And they embrace and they kiss. That's love, real love. Something that a lot of men would question today if you did it to them, and it's because they have no honor in them. The men that I hug and kiss don't even question whether I'm that fruity dude. It's not even a question. They understand my love and my respect for them. And that's how I do. Okay? Let's move on. 13. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran and met him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him that space of a month. Right. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for nothing? Now, he didn't say thou art my nephew. He went straight to the bone and to the blood of it all. He showed him honor and respect. He didn't say little nephew. Nephew has a little bit of a subservient tone to it, like you my uncle. Like when you're wrestling and you getting beat up and the man got you pinned to the ground, you say, uncle, and you hit the mat. Right. That means that I'm subservient to you. It's no disrespect to the nephews, especially you, Carlin. There's no disrespect to the nephews, but it's a different tone. It's an undertone. He didn't say that's my nephew. He said, because you're my brother. You understand? And he wasn't his biological brother. He was his biological nephew. But he called him my brother.
The brother made them equal.
Put him on that level.
Put him on the same level.
Right.
Yeah.
Paying honor and respect to him. Like when I be calling you brother. Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
On the internet.
Right, all over the internet, calling you brother, putting you equal, and saying, "Yo, what's up?" And then you be making me cry and dark and
Yeah.
quiet. And I don't be telling nobody all that, but you be letting you be. Sometimes you know. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
See, y'all, before I move on, I gotta explain this situation with this guy here.
Oh, man.
Me and Shia have been in this way of life. We've been friends for almost 30 years.
Yeah, 26. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And we've been partners in this construction world, shoot, for a long time. Say 20 years, something like that.
2000.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just a long time. So there's been a lot of ups and downs between the both of us. You know, we depend on each other in a little special way. I say, you want to do this? He say, I'm going to do that. And then he don't show up. And then, you know, so it's little things like that that I'm trying to insinuate. He say he my brother. Well, he my brother. You got to come through, my brother.
We ain't internet brothers.
Oh, we ain't in that, brothers?
We ain't Facebook Hebrews.
We ain't Facebook Hebrews? What's a Facebook Hebrew?
No, just got the information off the internet.
Oh, they got the, oh, okay. He's talking about those.
We sat down at the feet of elders.
Oh, yeah, we did it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did do that.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. But he's right about that. You know, there's a difference between an Israelite who sat down with the elders and learned their way, as opposed to them who got the information off the internet, went with an ideal, and now they out teaching. There's a big difference. And you can tell the difference in the lessons that's being taught. Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Abide with me the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, thou therefore serve me, for not tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Now Rachel was the one that he loved. Rachel was the one that he kissed from day one. Leah was tender-eyed. Now, when people say tender-eyed, it caused you to think that she was ugly, but she wasn't. Tender-eyed means she was young in the eyes. She was young in the eyes. I hear you. Who's that? Lafaya? What did I say? Lafreya? Go ahead, Lafreya. I got you. Bad Hoshea. Shabbat Shalom. Chip. Shabbat Shalom. Tender-eyed meant she was young in the eyes. She looked at young. It didn't mean that she had a droopy eye. Didn't mean she was ugly. It meant she was young looking in her eyes. So Jake, he didn't even fall for her. Not that she was ugly, but he fell in love with her sister, which is a totally different emotion. Okay? Leah was tender-eyed. We're in Genesis, the 29th chapter, verse 17. But Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Can you imagine a man today saying to another man, I will serve you for 7 years for your daughter?
No.
Man, I wouldn't. Today, you really can't even get a man to say, I'll serve you for a month for your daughter.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? We don't have that kind of honor today, but this is the kind of honor that we got to get back. She was young and beautiful. That's right. We have to regain this type of honor in our midst today. And that's how we're supposed to do this. Be willing to slave or pay the way for what it is that you desire to have in your life and to possess. And a lot of us, we're not willing to do that. We want to sneak behind daddy's back and lie with the daughter without even letting daddy know openly that we want his daughter. We know we do that, and I quote it, nigger stuff. It's like the brother say, when you do nigger things, you get nigger results. A man in Israel is supposed to show honor to that woman, supposed to go to that father, buy a gift for that father. Or if she's a virgin, you pay a dowry for that woman to the father. You know? And if she's not a virgin, then you still can buy him something, talk to him, and ask for his hand in marriage of his daughter. And if he doesn't approve, then you let her go and you try to show him that you're worthy of his daughter. You don't keep seeing her. You don't keep sneaking around with her and trying to show him. You don't disrespect the Israelite code. You have to hold that Hebraic thought honorable in your mind. And you seek his permission. And if he doesn't give you permission at first, then you go around and you try to find ways to please him, to let him know, well, I really want your daughter. And that's how it's go.
That you're worthy. You gotta show your worth.
That's right. You gotta show your worth. All this sneaking around behind the scenes stuff, that ain't good. That ain't what we do here in Israel. And you're disrespecting. How is that a low battery? Hold on 1 second, family. You're disrespecting the Most High. You're disrespecting everything that you're supposed to stand for when you try to sneak around with an Israelite woman, knowing she's Israel, but yet you're going to bring shame and disrespect to her family and dishonor her by trying to sneak around and lie with her. And that's not how it's supposed to be. You're right, Colin. Nobody has any honor anymore, but they better get some, because that's what's needed. Honor. That's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to reflect honor in all of our actions. Okay, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. And they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had for her. His love was great. Unbelievable. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife. He already calling her his wife, because he has successfully taken her, paid his way. Now, I would almost guarantee you that he didn't have intercourse with her. That he probably didn't go no further than a kiss and an embrace. Because when a man gave a woman away for marriage, she was supposed to have been a virgin, in the ancient days. Or if she was a widow, it was known already she was a widow, so they wasn't expecting her to be a virgin. But these women were expected to be virgins because they wasn't married. You got it out. You got it. May the Most High be pleased as I instruct those directions. That's to you, Troy. Elder. And Laban, he says, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. See, he wasn't having intercourse with her. 7 years he worked for that woman. Most of us couldn't go a year without laying with our women, in a courtship. He went 7 years and didn't touch her. Most of us don't even go a month. Matter of fact, some of us don't even go a week. But honorable men wait their time out. Whatever their designated time is, they wait. The time is determined, and you wait your time out until that day, and then you do what you have to do. You take your wife. His time was up, and he says to his father-in-law, give me my property. Hand over my wife, because I want her. And he did it. But watch what Laban do. Laban is slick, crafty in his mind. And later on in the scriptures, you're going to see that his daughters are just like him. Watch what happens. And Laban gathered together all the men. We were in Genesis 29 and 22. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him and went in unto her. And he went in unto her. He had no intentions on going into Leah. He was supposed to chose Rachel to be his wife. But Laban tricked him because he knew that Leah would be harder to pass off. So what he did was a switcheroo. You know the old switcheroo trick?
Yeah.
He got Jake drunk at the feast. More than likely, I'm conjecturing. This is just my thoughts. He got Jake drunk, put him in a dark room or a dark tent, and then slept Leah in there. So Leah had to be a conspirator, a co-conspirator to this whole process. She knew what was going on. But Leah wanted to be married. She wanted to be married because it is desirous of every young woman to be married. Now watch this, because from this day forward in history, Leah has always been hurt, depressed, lonely, striving to please her husband and have her husband desire her in a special way. She's always been. Do you know how many women today live life with that same type of passion that doesn't have a husband? That desires to have a righteous man that they can give their all unto, but every time they throw their fish net out there, they keep catching niggas instead of righteous men? No. And I'm not saying there are no righteous men out there, but you got to stop allowing the niggas to take a hold of your net and keep casting your net until you find a righteous man. You know how you'll know he's a righteous man? Because he's going to do the things that I just mentioned in this lesson. He's going to talk to you and elevate you in your spirituality first before he take and try to get in your underwear. You understand? He's going to talk to your parents and see if he can first get their approval to have you as a wife. He's not going to act like a nigga and be pimping you, talking about, hey, shorty, what's up? Let's go to the movies tonight. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. He's going to get approval from the authority in your life, whether it's your older brother, because sometimes you don't have a father. And that's not rare in the midst of our people today, to not have a father. An older brother, an older uncle, or some man in your life. And if you have that, then that's the route he's going to take. If you don't have that, then there's certain parameters that he's going to place in, on certain conditions he's going to place in that relationship with you. Right. All right, sis. I know you ain't got no father for me to talk to. Your mother is not alive. Your father's not around. However it is. So this is what I would like to do. I would like for us to court for 6 months. Let's just say 6 months.
Okay.
All right. I know I'm a prince. It's supposed to be a year. But I'm going to go for, let's say, 6 months. You know? For whatever reason it may be. During that 6 months interval, he will not be disrespectful. What he will be doing is elevating your consciousness, elevating your mind, preparing you for a future life with him. He will be making sure that your life is not a struggle for you anymore. That you can see, like Jake went and pushed the rock away from the well. That brother, the righteous brother that you throw your net at to see if he's going to bite, which he may bite, he's going to be showing you that he's there for you, to provide for you, to make sure that you're comfortable in life. He ain't going to go over and aboard and buy you a house and a car and a yacht, you know. But he will make sure that you are in proper alignment so that when you become his wife fully, you will know that you got a prize. Someone worthy of sacrifice. Someone worthy of being with. And not somebody that's going to sit home and watch video games all day while you go out and slave and work and tell you, well, I'm doing the Lord's work. You go out there and work, girl. I'm out here doing the Lord's work while you working out in the streets every day, pressing the 9 to 5, coming home, paying the bills, taking care of the kids. I'm going to sit home and chill and watch the video games and walk the streets and do nothing, hang with my buddies, while you out doing what you're supposed to do for the family. And then I'm going to go in the corner and I'm going to talk the words of the Lord for 3 and 4 hours, and then I'm going to come back home. So I'm working for the Lord. You work for this household. A lot of men are like that today. Now, those of y'all who that works for, then it works for you. And who am I to question it? But I doubt it very seriously if you would justify that through scriptures. If you search out the scriptures, the Creator tells you by law that if a man takes a wife and then decides to take another wife, that the things that he was responsible for shall not diminish from that first wife. So if you didn't have any responsibility, then how could that law apply?
Right.
You're not responsible for her food, clothing, shelter, and her conjugal rights if you wasn't responsible for it in the beginning. So the only way that the father can let you know that that is the responsibility of a man is to create a law and then give you ramifications that if you violate this law, this is the punishment. Well, that punishment shows you that that's what you're supposed to have been doing from the beginning.
Right.
And if you got a man in your life, sis, and he ain't providing those necessities and that basic necessities in life, you need to take him before the judges because he's just a man taking advantage of you. He's just a man taking advantage of you. Gordon, Shabbat Shalom, Gordon. Shabbat Shalom, Gerald Thomas. And Bizit Ziwi, Gumby, Shabbat Shalom. May the Most High be pleased with you all. It is a man's responsibility and duties to provide for his family and not sit on his butt all day and let his woman go out and be the slave. And then if she go out and be the slave, now I understand all the stuff about how this society is built against us. I understand all that. And it is. If you go out and you apply for a job and they don't hire you, you go apply for another job and they don't hire you, you don't give up. What you do is you get creative and you create a job. You can take and I mean this is so severe, this is deep, because this is a lot of conditions with our people today. You can take a can of paint and paint the sidewalk in front of people's houses for $10, $15. Just a curb to make it decorative. Hey, can I paint the sidewalk of your house? Can I paint the letters on your address on the wall? You can take stencils and charge $10 a house, an address. You can do anything. There's always ways. You can buy cases of toilet paper and go from door to door and sell cases of toilet paper. There are so many different ways to get a hustle going on. You can get a lawnmower, cut grass. In the wintertime, you can rake leaves. You can clean people's gutters out of their houses. You can go pack bags at the supermarket and carry people bags for them to their car. There are so many ways for a man to make a living. Now, if you keep doing those little things, eventually the Creator will see your efforts and bless you on a greater level. But there should be no idle man in Israel. Because if you're idle, that means you can't eat, and that means you don't deserve a wife. If you're idle. What you want to say? Go ahead.
Let me paint a scenario.
So you got to speak up a little louder.
Let me paint a scenario.
Uh-huh.
In this society,
Uh-huh.
right, you have a woman with children.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time, her housing and her food is already taken care of.
Her housing and her food is always taken care of most of the time?
Most of the time. Maybe through a voucher or some kind of welfare or, through the government.
Okay, through the government. Go
Okay,
ahead.
let's just say put the government
Uh-huh.
as the person providing.
Uh-huh.
So maybe this woman only requires a man to do what you say do, be the conjugal visit and the person teaching her a Hebrew lesson in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about in the regular world, but maybe that's what she's looking for. She's looking for a brother like you that knows scripture and can teach her scripture and provide the conjugal blessing or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And everything else is taken care of by the government. So then what?
Okay.
As a man, what's his motivation to get up and create that job and provide for more food and shelter when their food and shelter is already being taken care of?
Security is one thing. Because if the government found out that he was living with her and that she was married, the government would no longer provide those services. She couldn't get the food stamps that she's getting. She couldn't get the cash assistance that she's getting. And she definitely couldn't live in government-funded housing if they found out.
If they found out.
Yeah. So security is one thing. The freedom of exercising your husbandly rights is another.
Okay.
All right? Every man should want to provide for his family. Now, this is what I say. If you got all that going on as a man, then you got a hustle going on. Now, if you can do all that, let the government pay the way, and you out getting money, if you got a way to really work and save your money, and the government paying your rent and all that stuff, set yourself a time limit that you would allow that to happen while you bank all that money that you're making. Bank it all. And when the time comes, step out, take your family, release yourself from that situation.
Right. Use that assistance, that blessing that she had before you came along.
That's right.
Take that blessing, but give it a time limit. Like, hey,
give it a time limit.
Hey, sis, we're going to use this 2-year plan and then move on and get our own place where they're not telling, the government's not saying, well, this is what you have to eat and this is where you got to stay and this is what you have to do, because the man becomes the leader and not the government.
That's right.
But where do you, hold on. There's more, as you say, you're an employer of men. It's hard to find a man that wants to work in 2019.
Why though?
Because of the thing I just said. Everything's being taken care of, and the women are already all right with the fact that, hey, it's hard out here on the black man. It's hard out here. It's harder on the Hebrew man. So they're willing to say, okay, since he doesn't have a job, I'm going to work with him and give him that 2-year cushion before they really find out that he's really a bum off top.
So if he's really a bum, he shouldn't have the opportunity to have a wife.
Excuse me. But
if he's really a bum, he shouldn't have the opportunity to have a
but
wife.
who's teaching women, well, these guys are bums and don't take them as husbands?
That's what we're doing now. We're trying to teach our women how to choose a man. That's what this lesson was all about right there.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to educate them on the type of men that they should be looking for, so that they don't continue in this same cycle, keeping us held in captivity and keeping us down.
Right. Because it's important to understand Hebrew and the scriptures, but it's also equally important to be able to take care
That's right.
of your family.
Just
don't say, hey, I'm a Hebrew scholar, but you're actually also a bum
You're a bum.
that knows Hebrew.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
You know, you can't keep the law and not provide for your family. If you're not providing for your family, you're not keeping the law. That's why the elders are able to give that woman a divorce. If you can't provide for your family, then you're not obeying the Creator. And that's not to say that men can't fall on hard times.
Right.
Shalom, bang. Shabbat shalom. That's not to say that men can't fall on hard times, because sometimes you do fall on hard times. And when you fall on hard times, don't mean that you give up. You're still out there struggling to try to maintain and try to get better and to try to make a way.
Right.
You know, you don't just give up. And that's what a lot of our problems are. We give up. When hard times come our way, a lot of our people just take the easy road like water. Take the path of less resistance and sit on the couch. Certain men are not built like that. No matter what, we can't sit on the couch. You know? Some of us have a problem laying in the bed on the Shabbat day.
Oh, I don't have that problem.
No, you don't. Lafra says, my mother taught me, but my father showed me as well. An uncle showed me Torah, taught life, gave me wisdom. May the Most High be praised forever and ever. Wonderful. A lot of us didn't have that opportunity, but when you do, you got to do right. All right, so that's what this is about, family. This is about women. Don't just be so satisfied to grab a piece of mess just so you'll have somebody there to say, I got a man. You know, a lot of women are suffering in these relationships with horrible men. Now, you got to be careful the type of man that you get. First of all, you got to grab a man that's about the Most High's business. That's sign number one. Because you, being a righteous or a knowledgeable individual, you're only going to elevate as high as the man that you got in your life. And if that dude ain't about the Most High's business, I don't care what you're struggling with, y'all not going to work together. If you are about the Most High's business. Or he's going to drag you down, and you're going to eventually walk away from the Most High's business and be like everybody else that you know.
Okay.
All right? And that's how that goes. Shalom, bang. Shabbat shalom. All right. 27. 26. Genesis 29 and 26. And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Now Leah was the firstborn, Rachel was the younger. He said, I can't give you Rachel without giving you Leah first. So Leah got to get married first. This man was slick. He knew what he was doing. See, this man has searched out and found out by divination, as they say, that as long as he had Jake in his household, that will bring blessings to his house. You remember what I mean? You understand what I mean? Something like what you said earlier to me, that an Israelite man must understand that he's not a regular dude. He's the cream of the crop. You know, an Israelite person must begin to understand that they're not regular people. They are the echelon of civilization.
Yeah.
You know, we must hold ourselves in a higher standard than regular people. We have to look at ourselves. I put a post up the other day on Facebook and I said, I'm the most righteous person I know. And I meant it. And I said, now who can steal this? You understand? We all should feel that way about ourselves. Convinced in our integrity that we're walking right before the Most High. Even if you're not. You're doing your best is what that means. You're putting your best foot forward to please the Creator. Now a lot of people might look at that and say,